All right, bring on the Super 8s then of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. Our focus lies on England against a resurgent West Indies, red-hot favourites or even stronger favourites now after topping their group. And Sanjay Manjrekar with me on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by Dish TV Watcher. We'll also hear from Samuel Badri to get the West Indies perspective, looking at how both teams have actually fared in the group stage. Defending champions England just about sneaked in, and after that win against Afghanistan, can't help but think the West Indies belief must be sky high. So who goes into this in better health?
You've got to look at the long-term track record and pedigree of England, and you've got to back England. But after that win against Afghanistan, finally you would say that West Indies are back in form, because until then their qualification wasn't convincing. They had got through to the Super 8, but performances that raised a few eyebrows, especially their batting, but that now has come good. England were unfortunate that they had to sort of sneak in the way that they did. The only loss they had was against a good Australian side. So going into this game, I would say England start as favourites, although I'm a little worried with their bowling attack.
Would you like to have a look at the head-to-head record and see if you want to revise that? 5-1 to the West Indies in the history of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, an epic final among that included. And as we now look at the venue too, at St. Lucia, high-scoring venue potentially. Does that affect how the balance is?
See, the West Indies of the past and the England of the past, there is a marked difference there.
Yep.
West Indies slowly coming into their own now. England have been different in the way they played international cricket. In the last 3-4 years, maybe it's the overall Ben Stokes influence. They play fearless cricket. I find their batting very dangerous. And even on the big stage, England are able to match their own standards. The big test for West Indies now will be against a quality team like England, who are used to being champions. And that's where I think they'll be tested as a side.
On that note, Samuel Badri, can we say that England have found a bit of a bogey team in the form of the West Indies, looking at that head-to-head record?
I think it would have an impact. Recently, the West Indies got the better of England here in the West Indies just before Christmas last year, 3-2 in that series. And prior to that, they also got the better of them 3-2 in a bilateral series. In World Cups, West Indies lead the charge 5-1. However, having said that, the last time that these two teams met in 2021 in that World Cup in the UAE, England won. They dismissed the West Indies for just 55. Adil Rashid picking up 4 wickets for 2 runs. So, yes, they might have, I would say, a psychological advantage, but England, a very dangerous team, and West Indies can be destructive or disastrous. It depends on which team shows up. They've played some excellent cricket in the last 12 months or so, and certainly in this World Cup, and no doubt that game would be a mouth-watering clash.
All right, well, let's talk about teams as well. Now, as far as England go, we saw quite a significant change in personnel for a rain-reduced game against Namibia. They left out a batter in Will Jacks, and they left out Mark Wood, brought back Chris Jordan and Sam Curran for his first appearance. We don't know if that was only because it was a reduced game. This is going to be a high-scoring venue, St. Lucia. What changes would you like to see? What's your England 11?
I think Mark Wood will come back, because I like the way he bowled in that first game against Scotland. I thought he out-bowled Jofra Archer as well. And against West Indies with people like Andre Russell down the order, you want pace, and Jofra Archer's not quite there. Mark Wood has still got that pace that we know him for. Apart from that, I don't see too many changes. Reece Topley may have to make way. I don't mind if Reece Topley stays, and Chris Jordan, who's had a couple of outings, both times quite expensive.
Just the way that they won that last game against Afghanistan, Samuel, is the belief just building now? Was that the perfect type of win for them to feel like they can go all the way?
Yeah, they're unbeaten, unblemished record. Different players have been turning up at the right time. Sheffield Rutherford against New Zealand, and then Nicholas Pooran turning up tonight against Afghanistan. The bowling has been solid all the way through, led by Akeem Hussain and Gudakesh Motin, those spinners. And then Obed McCoy showing up tonight with a 3-wicket haul. So in totality, they look a well-oiled machinery. And if they can get it right on the night, they'll be very tough to beat. The defending champions, of course, are England. They've been here before. They've done it before. They won the World Cup the last time it was played in the West Indies in 2010. Remember that. So they have pedigree. And like I said, it's going to be a very, very good game.
Okay, West Indies playing 11. Very interesting, Samuel Badri, that we saw Obed McCoy in the last game against Afghanistan and no Romario Shepherd, both left-arm spinners as well. Give me your 11 and any changes that you'd like to see for this one.
Yes, St. Lucia is not really known for being a spin-friendly venue, but we saw both Moti and Akil Hussain pick up a couple of wickets. So I'm tempted to include Ruston Chase ahead of Shai Hope because of the couple of left-handers in that potential England lineup. And then again, I would like to see Obed McCoy remain in the 11. 3 for 14 in his first outing in the very ground that they're playing that Super 8 clash. And he gives that variety to the bowling attack. Romario Shepherd, it will be tough for him, but the position in which he plays down towards the back end, I don't think he will necessarily be used with the bat. We saw in that game against Afghanistan, Andrew Russell just facing a couple of deliveries, and so too Sherfin Rutherford. So he might be wasted with the bat. And so I would prefer personally an out-and-out bowler, a specialist bowler like Obed McCoy, who can use his variations, which will be needed in that St. Lucia pitch, his back of the hand slow balls, his slow bouncers, those types of deliveries. So for me, Ruston Chase slots in for Shai Hope, and Obed McCoy keeps his spot.
All right. On that note, though, West Indies, Samuel Badri says that he wants to keep Obed McCoy in the team. And you watching that Afghanistan game had an observation about the West Indies bowling attack that included Obed McCoy.
Actually, this might be in recent time one of the best West Indies bowling attack we've seen, because there's variety. I think there is some quality in spin. Akil Hussain bowls left-arm spin differently. Gutakesh Moti is a classical left-arm spinner who likes to give the ball a rip. I've always liked Obed McCoy. When he played in the IPL for Rajasthan Royals, he just offers different deliveries, slightly round arm now than before, has a variety of slow balls. So he's somebody who will get you wickets. Even in that game that he played against Afghanistan, there were a couple of guys caught in the deep, but he's a bowler who will give you wickets, and that is what I think West Indies needed in their seam bowling department, and X factor, along with somebody like Alzari, who's bowling brilliantly, I think.
All right. At these high-scoring venues, we tend to think quality spinners could make the difference. So let's put two players under the spotlight, Akil Hussain and Adil Rashid. Looking at the challenges that they face, how do you see both those two players going?
Adil Rashid will enjoy bowling against West Indies, who aren't that great against wrist spin, a bit of deception in the air. But Akil Hussain is a bowler for all occasions, and no matter what the batting opposition, I think there's a lot to like about him. Bowls the tough overs, love his one finger swinging delivery. And so in this particular matchup, you might think pretty even. Adil Rashid has not had a great outing a couple of times, but because West Indies don't play wrist spin, and when they have to tonk a wrist spinner, they can be vulnerable, although against Rashid Khan they played well. Adil Rashid slightly different.
All right, let's get the spinner on the panel involved as well. Badri, let me have a look at Akil Hussain against this England top order. They actually fare quite well against him. Jos Buttler strikes at over 150. Will Jacks, let's see if he plays, nearly 200. And Liam Livingston, England will be hoping he's better off. He just averages 4.5, dismissed twice in 6 innings. But how do you see these two key spinners going in this contest, Akil Hussain and Adil Rashid?
I'm not entirely sure if England will be tempted to tinker with their opening pair and to get a left-hander at the top of the order just to counter the threat of Akil Hussain, or if they'll back their two right-handers who've been quite productive. That remains to be seen, but yes, he is a threat in the power play. He's taken quite a lot of wickets, and that's his role, to take wickets in the power play, to create problems. He threatens both edges of the right-hander's bat. He has that arm ball, which he's bowling with great effect. He also has the traditional finger spinner. He's a wily customer, very smart, very skillful. And if he can do well, as he's done all the way through for the West Indies in the power play, pick up a couple of early wickets and put England under early pressure, then the West Indies have a very good chance of coming away with a victory.
You started by saying England are favourites, but I'm hearing a lot of praise as we analyse this game for the West Indies. You want to have another go at that? Favourites, Sanjay Manjrekar?
I always go by long-term track record. Pedigree is very important to me, and in recent times, England may have not looked as good as maybe India or Australia, but this is a team that plays well on the world stage. I still worry about their bowling a little bit, but have to go England. I have to go with England in this game.
All right. Many thanks to Sanjay Manjrekar as well as Samuel Badri. That wraps up our preview to the Super 8 encounter. A blockbuster one at St. Lucia, England against the West Indies on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket 4 Timeout, powered by Dish TV. Watcho.
Introducing the epic new Swift. Time to go swifting.
वॉचो ऐप पे देखो एक OTT के दाम पे सारे OTT शान से।
Watch